The lights are out, we have no HUD, Bray starts with a full signature meter and 3 finishers, and we also need 105 MFP before we can get the dub here. I think that's the most required MFP we've ever had in a live event to this date. Now, LA Knight being a striker, we need to get 10 light attacks and then 25 light or heavy attacks, plus red head damage. So we can kill 2 birds with 1 stone here by going to a downed Bray Wyatt, hitting circle on the PlayStation or B on the Xbox, and then following that up with a light attack. We're going to be rinsing and repeating this frequently until he counters. Luckily, he doesn't do it often, but once he does, you have to bear in mind that Bray Wyatt does have 3 finishers locked and loaded from the get-go here, and he's going to try to use them any chance he gets, so be prepared. If he can land one cleanly on you, the match likely is going to be over. So to avoid that, you can do this strategy I'm doing here. You see we got red head damage already. You can do this strategy on the outside of the ring if you prefer. That way you're safe from getting submitted or being pinned, because this is an Extreme Rules match, not a Falls Count Anywhere match. So use that to your advantage. Fight in the crowd if you want. Go up on the ramp. Get as far away from the ring as possible. Whatever floats your boat. I'm lazy and I don't want to do a long walk back to the ring. Even virtually in a video game, I am lazy, and I don't want to stray too far from the squared circle. So once you see that you have red head damage, like you saw pop up for me, you can feel free to do those limb attacks, the light attacks that I mentioned at the beginning of the video, on a separate limb, like the arms or the legs, because the more the merrier. Spread out the damage, he'll be more easy to pin, and if you do it properly, if you really wail away at him, you can get away with only 1 pinfall attempt in this match, which is really nice. Outside of that, weapons, of course, are going to be available. There'll be aplenty. Bray may even go and get some for you and bring them into the ring. If he does that, just be ready to take it out of his hand, do a running attack, get that weapon out of his hand as soon as possible, because if he lands a clean hit with a weapon, he'll likely go for a pinfall, and that's just annoying, because even if you have a big kick-out meter, if it's the beginning of the match, for example, you can still get screwed over sometimes, especially if your controller has stick drift like mine does. Sometimes you just can't kick out after a big devastating chair shot, so just be mindful of that. Other things I want to give tips on, you have no HUD, but there are little indicators about how much damage you've done. You saw we got the red head damage MFP pop up there. If you get the wet blanket badge alert, that means your opponent is stunned. It also depletes some of his finisher bar. So if you get the wet blanket to pop up, you know that you're safe to go in for the kill, hit a signature or a finisher, whatever floats your boat. That's actually pretty nice. So even though we don't have the HUD, there are some tells. You see, I keep going back to these limb attacks, and Bray Wyatt is a countering machine. I'm very grateful that he does wake-up taunts frequently. That allows you to just prepare yourself to hit triangle or Y on the Xbox to get a good counter in. You see he's going to go for a half Boston Crab here, and I barely have any damage. I don't think I have any limb damage to this point, and it still was kind of hard to get out of, and I'm sure just being in that hold for that brief duration did some damage. So you can't get caught in too many of those, which is why I do recommend going to the outside of the ring. As a matter of fact, let me take the Fiend out there at my earliest convenience and start wailing away out there. I just got my 10th light attack, and so we're missing 15 more MFP. That's for the 25 total light/heavy attacks, which, again, you can accomplish by spamming the limb attacks, or if you get impatient, you can just try doing your standing light strike combos. That works too. You will get countered pretty frequently doing that, as you see that just happened to me. But there's really no foolproof way to go about it. You know, it's just one of those challenges as a striker that you can't really get away from doing. You just got to kind of grind it out. And doing so on the outside of the ring is advantageous in a match where pinfalls can only be counted on the inside of the ring. Outside of that, yeah, you can do weapon damage. The sledgehammer is usually a pretty good weapon in these types of matches because you can just use it infinitely. It doesn't break, so you don't have to worry about having to go get another one under the ring apron. You can just use the sledgehammer pretty much the entire match. And Bray puts me up against the ropes. Out he goes. And you know what? I'm going to go outside the ring too, and we're going to complete the match out here. I'm going to try to get my 25 total light and heavy attacks. After that, I'm going to get the heck out of here. Those stomps right there, I don't think they count. I think it has to either be just like standing strikes or grapples light attacks. Like this, like the limb targeted attack. So I'm going to get the arms, I'm going to get the legs. I know the head's red. The torso's got to be pretty beat up too. just by damage that accumulates from doing counters even, you know? So I think we got this match in the bag. As soon as I can get that 105 MFP, we're good. And even if Bray, again, hits a claw on me or Sister Abigail, I'm not worried. You see I got that wet blanket there. That's free damage. I can just start spamming these limit attacks here because I know he's stunned. Granted, it's not going to last very long. This is a very good Fiend card, so he's got outstanding attributes. So, but a couple of good attacks is, you know, we'll take that all day. Another tip on the outside of the ring and why I do recommend coming out here to do your challenges is because Bray, the AI, knows that pinfalls only count in the ring, so he's going to frequently try to Irish whip you or drag you back into the ring. So if he grabs you, you can just spam circle on the PlayStation or B on the Xbox, and you'll get a good counter in. Keeping him predictable is pretty key. It allows you to stay on the offensive, because if you can successfully counter an Irish whip, you can follow that up with an attack of your own, like I'm doing so here. And boom, we got him back on the ground again. So I'm going to pick him up and try to get these. 25 has never seemed farther away than in this challenge, I swear. But again, trying to Irish whip me back in. I got him in. And I don't have my 25 strikes in, but I am going to take this sledgehammer and wait for him to come to the outside, hit him with it, because the sledgehammer, again, is just an excellent weapon. It fills up the stun meter really fast, does a massive amount of damage. It's just a great weapon. Can't recommend it enough. So the Fiend comes out, he gets a shot in the gut, and here I go again, trying to get these 25 light strikes. It is a grind. I think I'm just going to try to do the standing strikes from now on, because I can't do this anymore. He's going to counter. You just got to be good and counter him back. Like I mentioned before, thankfully he does the wake-up taunts almost every time he wants to hit a finisher, which is just outstanding for our timing, because outside of that, you know, this match could be a lot harder if it wasn't for that. Thankfully, the computer always tries to do a wake-up taunt. Oh, he nailed me with a Sister Abigail there. I think that's his signature, but like I said, I'm not panicked. We're on the outside of the ring, and I can't be beat out here, so I'm just chilling. Bray can get back in the ring. He can taunt me with that chair all he wants. I'm not worried about a damn thing. I know that I'm safe as long as I'm laying here on the outside of the ring. I could take a nap out there. Well, that's a rude awakening from the nap, getting a chair yeeted at you, but still. I gotta be getting close here. I think if I just hit one or two more light attack combos, I'll hit the 105 MFP needed to get this match over with. And like I said, man, it's elementary at that point. This Bray is so beat up. I know he's got red head damage. The torso's got to be beat to crap. I know the arms and legs are really beat up because we were spamming limit attacks on those as well. So as soon as I can... Okay, there we go. We're good. Just got to get him in the ring, hit one BFT, and this match is over. He's so beat up at this point, he's not going to kick out. It's just going to be our first pinfall attempt. And that's actually pretty nice. So it's a bit of a grind to get those 25 light strikes because he's just such a countering machine. But outside of that, this match was not too tough at all. Especially if you go on the outside of the ring and just take your time. Don't panic. Check your match actions from the pause menu to see what you need to do to get your 105 MFP, because you do need to do all of them. I think that's the first time we've had to do so. Correct me if I'm wrong. But guys, if this video was helpful to you, let me know in the comments. Leave a like, a sub, all that good stuff. And enjoy another 99 Galaxy Opal card for your collection, LA Knight. We got a few of these now, don't we? Until next time, guys, be well and take care. With everybody saying, LA Knight. Yeah.